Alright. There we go. Hey, look at that. That worked for once. Alright, we're back. Thursday night. It is Space Engineers Night. I have a big industrial crab. So. Stuff. Alright, so we are running on the new 207 update. I do not have food turned on, and none of the stuff here is configured in the scenario right now to like leverage radiation off the planets. So we're not benefiting from that stuff, but everything worked. There were 2 plugins that weren't super critical that had to have an update, but they've been updated. All the mods worked. Like, I made a copy of the 102 mods currently in use in this playthrough, including like all the dependencies for the scenario and all that, just in case I needed to run them all off a local copy because something didn't work and I had to manually roll back to the 206 release. But everything's working. I didn't have to. I fired it up. Everything worked. I'm real happy about it. Things changes. Oh, I did die again. The fog killed me. I went face first into this pillar. There's a light up here now. But I went face first deep in the fog, which made it easy to pick up all my stuff because it landed me down right here at the base. Immediate tasks: need to go buy fuel oil and maybe some asphalt if we can, because need to make fuel for the big industrial crab. It is a big industrial crab. The fog. The shadow. I have a refinery here for fuel. Gasoline refinery. So if we get some fuel oil, we can plug that in here and make some gasoline. I don't have tanks set up because that's such a pain to move. And this is not permanent. This is still temporary. We're working on permanent up there. We're working on permanent up there. We just have, 320 tons worth of materials we can process. But we have that. Also, it's all been made. It's sitting in the cargo container back here. Yeah. So the plan is we're going to move the crab around, because currently it's tethered. It's tethered using the tether's mod for power, because it doesn't have any fuel. So we're going to leave it tethered, and we're going to slowly ease it around. And there's another tether point here. There's another tether point there, so that we can slowly ease it around and hook up one of the back legs to one of these connectors. Hopefully, maybe this will work. Maybe it'll blow up and it'll all be a bad idea. But I had the thought to make a giant crab after last... Oh, there we go. Buffs. To make a giant crab instead of a flying carpet after last session. I dreamed of it. And so I made a crab. Eventually it will fly, as we can see down here. And consider giving the crab balloons so it can fly like Zeppelin. It's not a combat crab. Yet. Maybe. But once the crab is fueled up, we can use it to relocate large chunks of parts, because it's got 60,000 liters of storage in its body. And we can make trips up there and drop off parts. And I kind of think I want to widen the drill for the tunnel so the crab can fit through it. Right now, the tunnel is 3 drills wide, which on clearance mode gives it like 5 large blocks worth of width. So I kind of want to make it 7, because 7 will be just enough to fit. But it's a crab. The claws work. I'm actually really excited about this one. We can turn... Which one of these is which? I don't recall. Okay, there we go. That's right. So we can open the claws so that they're out of the way of the tool. And I can move it using its custom turret. We're using the new drill from the update, from the DLC update. I think that's cool. And then, of course, we can always do the same thing on the other side with the grinder. So, there's some options for fun. It's just thoroughly inefficient. But if it works, I consider it a success. And we can hang it from giant Zeppelin balloons and float it places. So this is a thing. We're gonna see how far we can get with this. It's amusing to me at the very least, and it's got blue crab coloring. So it's also got an air vent on it that feeds into the rest of the space. So if it goes in the water, I won't suffocate, and I'm happy about that. So we'll see how some of that goes. Other changes. I painted the dock. I don't think a whole lot else is changing. Oh, I cut down the small cargo containers, and so this is the cargo container for the entire base. This is full of concrete, 100% full of concrete. This is full of concrete. This sorter is full of gravel waiting to be made into concrete. Cat's being exceptionally loud. Hurricane, please stop. Hey, hey, hey. He's like, no, I'm gonna paw things. I'm a cat, and I'm gonna paw things. Anyway, so out of all this stuff, I did build an incinerator, and whoop, I basically said, hey, here's a sorter. If the cement mixer is at least half full, then you can turn on the sorter with the cement controller and send the rest of the gravel here to be incinerated. So we have carbon now, which is good, because that was silly dumb. But yeah, so if you're unaware, Shift B, you can gain buffs the longer you're alive. Every 45 minutes, up to a tier of 5, you get bonuses. Which is good, because until you're at tier 5, your oxygen consumption is higher than it was prior to the update. Your suit holds half of what it used to. Oxygen bottles hold half of what they used to. But if you got the full buff, then it's like you were at the same thing before. So it's part of a big series on stuff that is designed to be a little bit more encouraging, so that people don't just ignore death. So we're gonna do a little something here, because yes, we're third person off, but I want to show off the crab because I think it's fun. I don't believe I have wheel propulsion turned on. Did I turn it on? I did turn it on. Okay. It was just previously running on just the. It was previously running on just the thrusters, and I was a little concerned that might become a problem. So we're gonna see how things go. Oh, we drifted too far. Look, we got problems. We're trying to run on a single small grade battery. Bad times indeed. Let's turn off all extraneous power costs. We're gonna see if we can edge a little bit closer over, so I can hook back up to the other thing there. That's a problem. So we're just gonna pause that. Let's see what we can do. This has a 50-meter limit, so I think I need to cut off this hose and move it over here. I think I've got the hose. Here we go. Alright, we'll power it back up again. So, the nice thing about these is that when I want to, the last set of legs will lift up. Ooh, oh, we are super fast. We are so zippy. That's a problem. That's fine. We're gonna... Oh, man. I made mistakes. Going uphill. The fact that it's doing this much, though, I'm feeling pretty good about that. Come on, you can do it. Let's get some speed. Yeah, okay. The fact that this is as effective as it is, that's impressive, actually. I just realized a problem. I have no way to see when we're actually docking. Can I reach over here? Because I have no camera. Okay, that connects. We need a camera. We're going to go with a top-mounted camera. Where's my stuff? I keep forgetting where my stuff is now. I come over here and get it. And we're going to try... I think we're going to try and hook up... I'm going to try and hook up this side first. That's what we're going to do. We're going to crank the tunes down a tiny bit because they're a little loud. You know, I said build planner. Get all the cameras. How do you... Okay. That's fine. That's fine. Not camera, computer. I'm just going to grab these three. And we're going to come over here. And we're going to weld this on. What am I still... A detector component? Really? Okay, fine. I must have had something on my build planner that wasn't the camera. So when I thought I grabbed the camera, it just grabbed whatever was still sitting in build planner. That's the only explanation I've really got. We're going to call this crab cam. You know, we need to rename these connectors. No, I've got this one. Connector right. Yeah, that's fine. There are collectors as well, so if we need to, like, dip in for, like, ice or something, we can. That's the plan. And all this, we could just kill power to all these and they just fall down. Which, because of the small grid, small suspension there, they are frictionless, so it shouldn't be an issue. But there is that. So we're gonna... I'm hitting something. What am I hitting? Hitting the incinerator. That's fine. I need to do some greebling still, because the greebling's not complete. But, it's honestly... Oh no, we're out of power. Throw the parking brake on, because that doesn't need power. And then we'll rehook up back over here. I'm really excited for tethers finally getting a rewrite, because it's needed one for a bit. Actually, no, we could... This lines up better than I thought it did, actually. I was going to spin this around and back down, but I don't think we need to. I think we can probably hook up right here. So let's do another camera. Call this crab cam 2. This has been named. Yeah, it's been named. Alright, let's get our stuff set up here. We'll do it on... That's the one, but... Camera, see, crab cam is the right side. Crab cam 2 is the left side. We'll do the connectors. Connector left is actually on the left, I think. Connector right's actually on the right. We'll find out when we set it. I'm going to turn off parking. Now we are at the end of like 19 subgrids here with this, and I don't have an inertia tensor set. So we're about to find out here. Oh, look at that, it does work. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that's beautiful. We drop parking. None of those are set for... Okay, let's... Connector left and connector right. It's clearly not set for parking on the left. Is right set for parking? It is not. And strength is disabled for both. Cool, so I didn't forget that. Okay, we're hooked up. We're good. That means we need to go get some fuel. So, I had to turn off my laser, by the way, because we have so much crap. Well, not the titanium, I went and bought that. We have so much nickel, so much iron, so much copper, and that's after making all of the stuff needed for the railway, well, the drill rail. So, we're gonna do some things. And that's going to be grabbing a bunch of copper. So we're going to take some copper to sell. Let's go put this in the boat. It's been renamed to Duck Boat, because that seems appropriate. I did set up the dock, so it's actually like properly a dock. You can actually like walk on and off. I'm kind of happy with this dock. It's the first time I've actually tried doing a dock, but it works. That's the important part. I'm just going to grab a whole bunch more copper. And then we're going to make a trip. We need to get fuel. I don't think we need to get anything else. We just need to get all the fuel oil we can. If they have some... See, we need to do asphalt, right? Because it's asphalt for the roadway. The roadway requires asphalt. And asphalt requires... What makes asphalt? Is that under the cement mixer? No, it's not cement mixer. What makes asphalt in Industrial Overhaul? Probably one of the things I haven't done yet. Let's go to production blocks. So since we don't have to use... here we go. Synthetics factory. Synthetic polymer and to use forms and mixes asphalt. We will need some asphalt eventually. Let's place one down real quick, just so I can kind of get an idea for what the ingredients list will be. I'm going to throw everything into like high production, trying to make a bunch of stuff, but that's fine. I just need an access port welded. Once an access port is welded, it's fine. And some concrete. The AHE transport that was hovering out there moved on eventually. It did move on. One of its escorts ran out of fuel and crashed and burned, though, and I was able to get a little bit of salvage off that. Right, asphalt needs gravel and oil sand. Oh, okay, this is one oil sand per asphalt. That's not too bad. We have plenty of gravel. We can turn the ore drill back on for that. That won't be an issue. We have polymer. I could make my own rubber if we set one of these up. That wouldn't be too bad. But it did crash and burn, and I was able to get a little bit of some salvage from it because their teams didn't take everything when they did recovery. There was no body involved, so clearly they were doing like remote controls, like escort fighters from the main transport ship. So it wasn't even a body inside it. We did get ammo as a result. Where is it? Yeah, we got 2,000 rounds of 5.56. So if we had to right now, we could... have anything else on me? No. We could put an interior turret on the duck boat and be the most ineffectual ship imaginable. It could be really good for like anti like boarding and anti personnel operations, but not anything else. I did go through and pull 2 of the gyroscopes back out of rudder duty and leave them on regular duty because it was too hard to properly handle drifting with this, with the bow thruster, with them all assigned to rudder duty. The mod's designed to handle that, so I'm not too concerned about it. But, yeah. I'm excited about it. Fuel oil sand, they have it. I don't think they have oil sand. I have had a couple cockpits of some AHE escort fighters wash up on the shore. Unfortunately, I couldn't claim them as salvage. They had all the computer parts intact, so they were still technically owned. trying not to upset the AHE, because the entire purpose of us being here is to make things problematic for the GC. And if we limit or restrict the AHE in any way, Agaris heavy engineering, then that could make whatever soon-to-be revolution that's supposed to rise up a problem. And we can't let them really know, hey, yeah, I know I took some of your stuff, but it's okay, I'm on your side. Because, hey, we were instructed not to let them know that we were being paid to help them. So, you know, kind of hands tied there. It would have been nice to have got like the grids and the computers, though. Just so I didn't have to make the advanced computers and the grids would have been really nice out of the stuff that washed up. Unfortunately, I had to let them go. So, it is what it is. Eventually, things won't be an issue. I am considering putting another thruster on this thing, though, just so we get back to our old speeds again. So we are heavier. We're 46 tons. It's not a light ship. Also doing this wrong, I could just be sitting full throttle rather than having to hold down the forward button. Silly me. Actually, I'm pretty sure there's every possibility that the rudder mod is broken. Now, it does lock it, but we're not getting any programmed bounce. Maybe it's partially broken. The important critical stuff still works, that's the point. But if you want to play this scenario, because the planet definitions have to be updated to allow for the planet decorators to spawn so you can get crops and stuff, you can still do it if you want to do food, like reliant on food. You have to start with algae, though, until you find seed packets from unknown signals, or just spawning some seeds and creating them. It's not like anybody's going to tell you that it's a single player game. Even when it's not single player, it's still, I guess, who cares? Until those definitions are updated. I don't know if Cap is going to update the planet definitions used for the V1 version of Areas at War. He is working on doing a complete, all the stuff that he couldn't touch, that he wanted to leverage the survival update stuff for, he is working on for V2 of Areas of War, which is cool. Discussions on food and how it fits into things, and like there's a big plan for it, but it's not the same thing as having like here's specific details for how it's implemented. So the testing channel is having discussions on that now, which is cool. And this doesn't actually take all the longer to get over here. I do miss the bobbing from the rudder mod. It wants to, it just doesn't. So I think the mod may have a logic error. But we'll see. It still works, that's the important part. It works somewhere. So that'll be cool when that comes out. But you can get seeds from unknown signals. You can get meals from unknown signals too. So if you don't want to spawn them in, you can use algae until that point, and then eventually bootstrap yourself up through hunting down unknown signals and getting seeds off the drops there. And then use that in the farm systems. It's kind of cool. You can just never touch anything other than algae. If you just want to use algae farms and grow algae, you can do that. It works. You have to eat a lot more of the food made from algae. Had a micro stutter there. That was a little concerning. I never know if it's just like MES going, yeah, I'm having a rough day today, I'm not going to spawn this smoothly, or if there's like an actual issue with No, the rudder mod is still working because I can use the regular rudder controls to steer. So it's just specifically the bobbing doesn't seem to be working. Just going to move this way a little bit. Just going to pull up closer. Now let's turn on the dampeners here. And we'll just float. Grab some of this copper. Leave the engines running to refill the batteries as we go because we are out of the sun, so that solar panel doesn't work anymore. By the way, Industrial Overhaul did have an update yesterday as well. So it fixed some stuff, including the fact that Industrial Overhaul machines weren't pulling from their own outputs to feed their inputs, which is super sweet. And it was my single biggest complaint about the mod. Here's a bunch of fuel oil, that's good. We grab... That's way too much. Can I get 1,000? Nope. You know, let's just go get the other copper and sell it. We won't buy. I was like, oh, let's just do it in a couple trips. That's silly and unnecessary. Let's see, I can get it over here on this one. Run it back. So I imagine we're probably getting somewhat close to initial hostilities kicking off, just because of how much stuff I've built now. And yeah, things like, you know, individual blocks don't count for a whole lot, but production blocks do. Which, for Industrial Overhaul, there's a lot more production blocks you need than you otherwise would. Alright, we got 1.8 million. Can we get like 1,000 fuel oil? We can. Oh, we got plenty of space left. There's no asphalt here, is there? There's no oil sand. So that's unfortunate. If we grab like another 5, you know, let's just start with 1,000 fuel oil. We'll start with that. We'll hold the rest in reserve, rest of our funds, in case that we come across something we need. Because sometimes it's a little bit easier just to zip over here and then come back later. Just gonna sit here and rest. We're gonna fire that bow thruster. Try and push ourselves out a little bit faster. Got to get our speed up so the rudders will actually do their job. There we go. And we'll just kick it back around the rest of the way. We're back up to full speed and head on back. So once we get everything moved over, and I can actually start the drills and the welder going, I think we'll be in a better spot in general, because then I can go through and actually work on like the dock, like the formal dock down the bottom. We'll have to go actually drill up some oil to make the asphalt for those roads. But that's fine. We've got to do that anyway. I just don't want to build out the full, like, refinery chain, because it eats a lot of power. A lot of power to do a full refinery chain for oil into gasoline. And I don't want to set that up yet, because it's also a gigantic pain to move. I can turn my voice up, yes. But also turn the game down a little bit as well, just because these thrusters are doing some work. Is that better? Might be better. Not a problem. So we'll see how things go. I'm excited. We might manually dredge up some of the port area. I haven't decided yet. I also need to check and see how much coal we have left. I did go mine enough coal to completely fill the coal boiler, but I don't know how low we're running. When all the production machines shut off finally because we made most of the parts, power draw just like collapsed to the floor at that point in time. So I don't think I'm at risk of running out of power right now, but you never know. There's always possibilities of stuff, you know. I do have to say, this would be absolutely beautiful in real life. We're hitting 35. That's not. Hang on. Can we get down to like? Oh, hang on. We could gun it a little flat and plane up a little bit. 43, 44. Okay. Got some speed back. It's not as bad as I thought. We're only down, you know, like 20 miles, 20 knots from what we were before I added cargo storage to this thing. And the jukebox. Is there a sweet spot to the balance? We can maximize the power. So that's 40-ish. Yeah, so a tad below horizon looks like gets us the best rates. Some of this is just manipulating the collision box of the grid. Because that's how the water mod handles drag calculations. It's based on like the grid's pastable cross section. Alright, there's our power there. Let's go ahead and kill this forward thrust. Putting her on and we are coming in a tad hot. Nope. This is a tad. Nope. Can we do it? Can we bring it to a stop? Don't hit it, don't hit it, don't hit it. Okay, we're good. We almost hit the floating raft. Alright, we're just gonna come up here and see if I go this way, I think. Get a little bit more, maybe. And then we'll just drop here. That's probably close enough. We're deployed. We've got a little bit of slack. I consider we're good. We're down to 76% battery on this, which probably means, actually, hang on, what we're actually going to do is we're going to leave that engine running just to charge the batteries. With everything off, we should be fine. Did I take any damage when I dropped that? No, I didn't. Okay. Let's give a little bit more. There we go. That's better. Alright, let's take our fuel oil. Let's throw it into the refinery. And let's get this going. Let's see. gasoline refinery. Throw the fuel oil in here. That's not too terribly bad. I'm assuming that means we're now full on gasoline here, though. These are just about. Alright, so those two tanks are full. We're going to reset their name. And then these are on the crab itself. Now here's the question. Did I put those on here? When I get in and out, no, it just sets all the claw stuff. Okay, so I may have to do some goofy things here. But first, we'll throw these on here so that they can do their job. So if I disconnect this now, and turn the fans on, we've got parking brakes active. We can get rid of this, so we don't need it anymore. Put the parts all away. I do need to get the parts for drills, which I don't have the regular drill on my hotbar anymore because I took it off, which I think we're using regular drills. So we're gonna grab, oh god, yeah, there's that. And then we'll do this again. Put all the parts away. This is probably going to be horrifyingly unbalanced, but that's fine. I also may need to adjust the wheels. So let's see what we got going on here. We don't want all this stuff in the collectors. I'm just going to rip it all out. Okay, it only took like six tries to guess it. You know what we don't have? That's kind of important. Lights. Let's fix that. We need some lights. The sun is going down, and I need to be able to see what's going on. And if we do an offset, crank it way up, like 3.5, just blast this radius way up. We are the brightest crab of all time. We're so shiny. This is a spotlight, but I don't have to. We can just go with that. Yeah, okay. Turn this off. Let's see what happens here. So right now, we're still pulling more power than we can produce, but we're also running at like full speed, so I don't feel so concerned. In fact, let's just turn off. Okay, if we turn off the fans and run on wheels only, we can book it. Yup. Okay. I think we hit the wheel itself, not anything else. Which it looks to have been the case. I need to remember that we're a lot wider than I think we are, because we are a crab. So let's head on up here. I need to watch out for the power poles. Maybe we should put lights on those. It's a shame It's a real shame that the tethers poles don't have collision that's accurate to the actual poles. I know this is a thing that's been being worked on for a while, but it does mean that I can't like build stuff onto it. All right, I made a spot for the crab to park up here. Yeah, we have to use the thrusters for this part. Have to use thrusters for this part. So this is going to be the right side, right? Nope. Yeah. Because the whole plan was we pull forwards. Man, I'm scared to see what this looks like from the front of the thing. And then we could just crab drop in. All right, we are flat. Oh, we are off the side. That's the problem. Okay, I did not make this wide enough. Monsieur crab is much large. Very crab. Okay, so let's go up here, and then we will pull back this way and see if we can line up that way as a result. Oh no, we're sliding. Why are we sliding? Is it because we don't have wheels on the ground? It's because we don't have wheels on the ground. Okay. The crab legs do not extend down far enough. I considered putting these on like subgrids and articulating the legs and decided that was horrifyingly stupid and I wouldn't be doing that. I wonder if we turned off the crab legs themselves. No, because these are locked. The issue is that they're at their max angle, so it's lifting up everything else. That's why we're sliding. Okay. Because the back legs are frictionless. Okay, that's fine. This can be worked around. This can be worked around. Oh! Okay, that came in a tad hard. I may have damaged some things. That's fine. We can work through this. That's actually not that bad. That's way better than I thought it would be. Did I blow this up? I didn't even blow that up. Okay. Oh, okay. The crab is a bit much to handle. It's fine. We're still learning how it all works. Just don't slam into things at, 30 miles an hour. And you're fine. Alright, we definitely need to make this wider, though. This is just light armor paneling, right? Yeah. Light armor paneling. So we'll just drag this out a little bit more. That's fine. We can work with that. I'm going to go get repair parts. Repair that now. Grab some extra steel plate. I'm just going to go back to default colors. We're learning things. Who knew that an industrial crab would be a little unwieldy? It's not like it weighs 55 tons. Yeah, none of that took damage. That didn't take damage. Just everything else in line with the impact did. Okay, that's fine. We're good there. Let's do. We'll throw down some more of these. We'll go out another 5 meters. And that should be wide enough. I'll go fix the supports later, because that doesn't matter. But now we have more room to operate with. So the problem is I'm facing backwards, so like seeing where things are exactly isn't always correct. Okay. And that's right where we need to be to dump stuff in. So we'll bring the parts up, we'll eject them all out, they'll end up in there. Cool. That's exactly what we need. Let's get some drills. We need large size drills, and we're just gonna, I don't know what color was set for that, but we're gonna copy it. And because of the way I built this, this shouldn't really matter. Technically, I should want to put some more concrete on the back of this for balance. But I don't know if it's going to be necessary. Because I think the issue is as long as we had at least 2/3, we were good. I think that's how that worked. If you jump off and land on the tires, you won't take fall damage. We're just gonna copy all. Select and paste. Actually, this is gonna be right or left. Drill right to. Alright, so we should be all good on all these. I do need to check and see. Where is the start button? What command did I give this? Ah, it was the drill activate group, which included all the stuff but did not include drill left and drill right. So we're going to save those two. We should be good now. So I just need to go load up parts. So we can definitely move the needed weight. So far, at least. This is kind of steep, but the crab handles it. We just need to get down the mountain. Down the mountain's the key. Yep. There are gyros on here, so I'm not as concerned about rolling. Also, we're really wide. We might flip, but as long as I keep the back legs up, it kind of counterbalances the claws. So I'm not as concerned about it. And we do need to turn off all of the configured, like, hey, make this many parts settings, because what we don't need is starting to take load and then everything just kicking into overdrive trying to make replacement parts. The regular brakes are a little on the soft side, not gonna lie. Well, there's options there for that. Alright, so. Things. Control panel. We need in the assembler. We need to reset all. Same thing here. None of these should be set anyway. Oh, right, no. We want this because of the vacuum cells. Okay. Let's see. The fabricator. We want to reset the extruder. We want to reset the plate stamp. We want to reset this. Let's see. Wire jar, ceramics furnace. Actually, we're going to do a slight change here. Cement kiln we don't care about. Okay, I think that's everything. So let's just go through here and make sure everything is where it needs to be. Do. I feel like I accidentally put parts for 3 drills inside those crab cargoes. Okay. We go back to the big notepad file of parts I needed. It's going to take a couple trips to get all the steel plates. But I figured this is probably a good test because this is the heaviest the crab should reasonably be. Like, yes, I could put stuff in the connectors and the collectors, but this is realistically the heaviest the crab will be. So we turn off the back leg lifters and we unlock. We engage parking. Let's see what we're looking like. We are rocking back. We're a little heavy, so let's give this a little bit more strength. Like 20%? Yeah. We'll just crank all of these up by about 5. I don't recall why that was set to 78. I must have done it for a reason. Don't remember what that reason was, though. But if we just push this up 5% across the board and set this to something more reasonable... Oh wait, that already was. Why was this one just set so absurdly high? Okay. That looks pretty good. We're balanced. All the wheels are touching. That is back there. Here's where we try with the thrusters off. Ooh. Thrusters on. Still not enough. Oh, there is if I don't try and turn. Let's get the rear legs back up off the ground and see if that balances us a little bit better. We are 460 tons. Jesus. I will be perfectly honest, I never expected the crab to be this heavy. Those steel plates are chunky. We may not be able to get up on... Oh no, we may not be able to get up on the parking spot. Okay, let's do a thing here. Let's grab all the wheels. Let's give them more friction. not less. It takes up to 70%. We're going to try this again. Oh, I don't like this. Space engineers. Why you this way, space engineers? Okay. Let's crank this up higher. And let's give more power to the suspension, or to the driveline. Alright, we're going to drop the wheels, the rear legs, so they're just sliding frictionless. That's less direct weight we have to pull. Oh, I mean, we have to pull it, but actually, I don't know, does Space Engineers properly calculate driving force? Or does it simplify? Like, do we actually have a proper three-body equation going on with traction and drive? I honestly have no idea. We may need more engines. We may need more crab power. And right now, the power is saying only 2 minutes remaining, because that's what the small battery currently has left in it, because we're maxing everything out. Oh, this is so bad. Okay, we may not be able to do 400 tons of steel plate in one go. This is steeper than I thought it would be. Okay. Wheels. Let's push it up a little bit more. 90 power. 95% friction. Okay, we can get a little bit more out of it. We may need to put balloons on this thing sooner than I thought. I don't even know how big, man, how big of a balloon would I have to put on this thing to pick up 400 tons of cargo? We need something bigger. We need a lobster. We need an industrial lobster. An industrial crab would be insufficient. We would need an industrial lobster to tie those balloons to. Okay, so let's do some measurements here. Total forward. Did I take off the side thrusters and forget to put them back on? I feel like that's exactly what I did. Yeah, I took them off and forgot to put them back on. Okay. When I was air tightening everything. Okay, so we've got all that forward thrust. That's on me. That's 4.8 megawatts max. And these produce 1.5. Ooh, we would need 2 more gas engines. Okay, can we... So those 2 are up here in the hump. And I don't know that I have space inside the hump for more. Oh no, I probably do. Oh, maybe not. I can make the hump wider. Okay, so let's go get some parts. Let's go get some parts. Let's fix this power now, because we were at a third of our forward thrust we should have. And that's on me. That's 100% on me. So we're just gonna do. Okay. Leave these in obnoxious white, so I know I've got to come back and fix them later. Do I have a spot that I can put these on the side? Yeah, I guess I can do it that way. I have to be able to pipe them. This is so jank. Oh, that's fine. Gasoline is on. We're just not drawing anything, so we're not going to be burning anything. Alright. We got 4 gas engines. So, looking at 4.8 megawatts. 12 kilowatts. No, 200 kilowatts max times 6. So 1200, 1.2 megawatts. So that's 6 megawatts total, which is coincidentally exactly how many engines we've got now. Oh yeah, 95, 97%. Oh yeah, boys. Oh, the crab moves. All 400. We're going. This is a 30-degree angle. We are climbing this mountain at a 30-degree angle. On the bright side, the crab is super wide, so I don't have to worry about accidentally rolling down the side. If we lift the back legs, we are riding a little bit more balance now, and we still aren't maxing out power. The little battery that's the backup on here is not happy with it, but it's doing it. It's staying fully charged, and that's the important part. Okay, so we can't do 400 tons of steel plate. We're in heavy crawl mode. We were doing 15 miles an hour doing that too. Okay, we have to have the thrusters. Get stuck. Do it. You can do it. We just need to get up a little bit more so I can spin us. Okay, we'll go left. Go back off. Try this again. We'll go a little sideways. I feel like there's something like we're tipping, right? Third person mode, but I can't cheat for this part. I think the issue is that we're not getting enough. We're not getting enough. They're just going to drop the legs. I think we keep tipping forwards too much. Get a little bit of speed pulling forwards. I know there's nothing in front of us. 1.5 meters a second. It's like 3.5 miles an hour. Oh no. Yes. Oh no. That's a problem. That's a problem. No! No! I have no idea how he didn't go off the back of that. How did we not go off the back? That back wheel was right here. Oh, that was so close. Okay, we're gonna raise the limit for these legs, because I think the issue was we hit the danger point where these frictionless wheels were lifting these up off the ground. So we're gonna do some yoga. We're gonna do some stretches. This is not the right thing I'm modifying. This is. We're gonna keep going. Ooh, we almost lost the crab on the first usage. All right, we are definitely pitchy, but I think we're fine. Yeah, okay. Let's take. There we go. Come on, you can do it. We might be stuck. We're so close. Maybe we just come back a little bit. And we'll move this leg out. Let's see, the rotor lock needs to come off. That's fine. Turn this on. I need to give it a little bit of positive velocity. I'll just do the same thing with all the rest. Rotor lock on. Lock on. Rotor lock off. And then we'll swing this one back out a little bit more. There we go. So if we tell this, collect all and throw out. God, we're so close. We're so close. Okay, that's fine. We can do a little bit more. We will. We will rotate this more, less. Okay, we straighten out here. And then we push this back out. Okay. And then I try this again. Could I back up? Yes. I'm a little honestly terrified about taking the parking brake off while I've got this much mass in this thing, though. But I guess we don't really have a choice. Make sure that's on. Okay, re-engage parking brake. Okay, throw out on. Okay, now we just sit here and wait for this to finish emptying. We do it on gas. We're at half. We burned half our gas. God damn. So originally, this was supposed to be 30 minutes of run time. And then I added a second engine, which cut it to 15. And then we doubled that. So we're down to 7 minutes at full run. Ooh. The concept works. I am absolutely terrified. Yeah, we could never do 400 tons of steel plate ever again. Oh. Oh boy. That was bad times. That was some bad times. My favorite part's when the entire thing twitches. Why do we have scrap metal? I'm so confused why we have scrap metal. Much less construction components and copper wire. Did I put stuff in here and forget about it? There's gonna be more crap in here than there needs to be now. Yeah, as long as we're here, that's all that matters. Go to sit here. Oh wait. Actually, I suppose I could help. Okay, we got that. So we tell this to not collect or throw out. We come back over here and we undo all the stuff we just did. Lock back, we lock on, we turn off. Do this. This is in place. Hinge lock, turn it off. Hinge lock, turn it off. Okay, so we're back to where we need to be, minus like the extra engines on the back legs. Oh yeah, we're super zippy now. We're gonna have issues where I'm gonna start. Why am I pitching forward so hard? Oh, I'm not pitching forward hard. We're just at... Hang on, how? Yeah, we're just at that extreme an angle. Okay. We're just at that extreme an angle. Avoid the power poles, because if we hit them at the speeds we'll be going, we will explode. I wish it was not dark and rainy. You know, we're going to come from below and sweep up. Doing 60 miles an hour, screaming back up here. I'm going to turn off the thrusters. We're going to turn this off. Whoop. Do I want to know what's going on right now? Okay, let's hang on. Let's unfuck this. All right, this goes back to 0 because that's where it should have been this entire time. This goes back to 0 because it's where it should have been this entire time. Now we'll be properly rebalanced when I toggle things, and we just won't bring 400 tons of bullshit with us. There we go. Okay, that's so much smoother now. Okay, I'm learning how to drive a crab. It's fine. None of y'all are crab certified either. So pull up. We'll lock. We will turn off the engines. Actually, I guess it doesn't technically matter. Let's do it this way. Crab engines. We'll shut them all off, and then on the controls here, do crab engines. We'll toggle them here. There we go. That's what we need to do. So we're going to get gasoline refined back into that. Hooked up on the wrong leg, but it doesn't matter. Let's see. Modular cargo. We're going to try 4 cargo containers, not all 6. Turn this back on. We unlock. With 330 tons. This is 130 tons lighter than we were. Again, really wish it wasn't raining. We're doing 55 miles an hour screaming up this mountain. I just need to get above us before it gets really steep angled. And then I can spin everything around. There we go. Took out the tree. We're going to keep pushing. We're going to keep pushing. We're going to slowly back down. Should have put like lights back here. Oh, nope. 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 Slower. 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 Oh, God. Ugh. Okay, not as bad as last time. Not as bad as last time. Alright, if we drop this, how close are we? We need to pull forward a little bit more. So let's soften up the suspension on the front. We're a little bit more balanced load now, so we'll drop suspension across the board down to 20%, because then that at least that gets all 6 wheels on the ground. You know? And we're not at risk of bottoming out anything right now that matters. We really just need to make sure that all 6 wheels are in contact and providing friction. Yeah. We're crawling forwards is the important part. Okay. Come. little bit, aim a little bit to the right. Alright, we'll see how this goes. I think we're technically bottoming it out, our chin there. But that works. So we go into throw out and collect. Everything should fall in. Yeah, okay. Ooh. You know, we're getting there. And by the time we're done with this, it'll be... hopefully, the storm will pass and the sun will be rising. And it won't be that big a deal. AHE is still doing their deal. Even in the rain. It's infinitely easier not breaking 350 tons. I will say that. We're going to give this a little bit of help. Just to get it all done. Do I kind of regret not doing a proper hookup? Not at all. Like, as little maneuverability, as little... like, I've got some gross control, but as little actual control as I've got of this thing right now... nope. Zero desire. Zero desire to try to run this normally. I think part of the issue too is that caught. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're still up off the ground. But we're off the ground because we don't have anything in the back. So give it the full forwards. There we go. Okay. I suppose that could have been worse. We lost just the connector. That's fine. There was nothing of value in that. It's like, why can't I stop? Because my ass is up in the air. Because I forgot to lift my legs back up. So when I hit the brake, the leg kept going and pivoted me up. It's fine. You know, just basic stuff. Basic stuff you're not supposed to forget. Like, I don't have a trailer on the back, but I may as well because of those real legs. Yeah, this is going to definitely need a balloon. 100% a balloon. I want this thing just to kind of drift. It's going to be so much nicer if it does. Alright, so we can't use that leg. So we'll pull up, and then we'll pull back, and then down. Don't slam into my fuel refinery and blow it all up. It's the key to life. You know, just don't accidentally slam into your fuel refinery. Locked again. Keep the brakes on. Turn off the engines. Let the gas tanks refill. Oh, they're already refilled. Sweet. We need to put a connector back on this. with another camera. See, this would be connector left, right? Is this what I call these? It was left and right? Yeah. And then put the camera on. Okay, so here's to Earth. Dang, this is sweet Earth, you may say. Wrong. Hop back in the crab, because the storm never ceases. We've almost got... We could have done... If we could have maneuvered, we could have done all of the steel plates in 2 goes. But we couldn't maneuver with it. Okay. That works. I gotta turn back on the gas engines. There we go. At least the storm stopped. So same things before. Get some speed, get up above it, and then we can try a slow slide down and hope we stop. Maybe I should put like a backstop, so I can't slide off again. Up. Gonna come back. I'm gonna try and pre-line up as we go. I'm gonna leave dampeners on to help give us some braking force. There we go. I think that's probably going to be where we need to be. No, it is not. But that should be where we need to be. Whew. Okay. Totally not a scary transmit event, nope. Worth it for the memes, though. Worth it for the memes. And because I haven't been keeping track of exactly how many plates we brought, I do need to do a plate count before we leave here, so I know how many I need to bring back next time. We turn off, throw out, and collect. Let's go take a quick look here. We've got 46,000 plates, right? It's exactly 46,662. So we need another 3338. That's fine. That's doable. Let's lift the legs. Dampeners on, release the parking brakes, take off like a crab out of hell. weighs 67 tons, and he just heard that Red Lobster is opening a bunch of new stores again. So he's just gonna dip one out of here. Okay, so that's the worst of it, though, right? Because theoretically, I think all the other components have a higher volume to mass ratio. And you know, it's almost sunrise, so it'll be less scary. Engines off. Okay, so we need 33 38s. And then we need a whole bunch of other stuff. We need computers. We need a bunch of electromagnets. Short 5 electromagnets. Fine, we can fix this real quick with a fabricator. Actually, we can put some of these back to more reasonable numbers of things in general. Because some of the stuff we're going to need anyway just for, like, making the port and all that stuff, so. Not that big a deal. Let's see, what am I missing here? Fabric, plate stamp. We already set the plate stamp. Everything else should be good. So, we go back to... Where are my electromagnets? Did I set it? I did set it. It's fine. It's fine. It's just stuff. It's just, you know, stuff getting in the way. It's fine. I'm going to drag these 5 over here. Motors. We need 4,324 motors. Got nowhere near that. That's fine. We can go back to L calculator. There are 2,138 motors. Yeah, this is less than half the mass at being full. That's the important part. Another 1,250 there, another 888 motors total. Cool, the motors are all done. We need a bunch of copper wire. Just shy of the copper wire we need. We need 2505. We only got 2484. You don't know why it's not working, but it's fine. Worst case scenario, we'll do a reload. It won't be an issue. So, 2484, we need 2505. So that means we need another, what, 25? Cool, so there's all that. That leaves just the construction components and the small tubes left. Whew, okay, that's fine. We can work with this. We can work with this. Going to turn our engines back on, turn our thrusters back on. We're going to unlock, turn off the brakes. We're only 240 tons now. This is nothing by comparison. This is literally half the weight of the first expedition. I will say I didn't really have a good appreciation for how steep this slope got up here until I took the crab up here the first time, because I haven't had a vehicle up here. And I'm really glad I didn't, like, bring back Scraptimus or something, because he would have just tumbled sideways off the mountain and I would have cried. And that would have been all there was to it. Ease on down. Hey, look, I've lived long enough without dying that we get the full buff. And we got it. Yeah. Okay. Cool, that should be where we need to be. So, the buffs, the full level 5 buffs, 150% max health, which does indeed raise our max health to 150. Welding speed is 150% boosted, grinding speed is 150% boosted, movement speed has a 20% boost, and oxygen consumption is halved. What this means is that the lower end tools are still better than they started with, but now the top end tools are now about as effective as they were before the 207 update. The top end tools had a baseline nerf to them, so that people just didn't like continuously throw themselves endlessly with whatever high-end tier tools they could just make at problems. Again, with Keen going on the make death meaningful thing, which I'm fine with. I will say it's funny how the stancing happens. What happens if I just turn this back on? Do we overshoot? We don't overshoot, and I'm less concerned we're going to slowly bounce ourselves up into the sky. Okay, I am so much happier about this now. Turn off my headlamps. Whoa, okay, so the plan is, once the last of the parts, I go hit that button back over there in the corner that you just can't see because it's behind my head right here. I hit that button, and that will start the drills going and the welder going, and it will begin inchworming its way forwards, piston action by piston action. And they're assuming I calculated this correctly, because there's always a possibility I messed up the math. This will be enough parts in this large cargo container for it to build a path all the way through the mountain and out the backside of the hill. So we'll have a front entrance and a back entrance. That's the hope. We will see if that holds true. But it'll take a little bit of time for it to complete that. Cool. We will disable that. We will drop this back on the ground. And grab lights, put them on this. So I'm going to turn them off. Should be good. God damn it. Oh no! What? How? How did... Is there a hole in the ground if I zoom out far enough so we get like the lawn problems? No? What did you blow up on? Oh, coming in fast. You know what? We'll consider this a battle scar, and we'll finish this project out with just the back right. And we'll go with that. And then I'll fix that leg later. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Because I'm not going to need both legs for right now. And then, you know, if we end up in a position where, like, the claws have their tools replaced with, say, like, railguns or, you know, assault cannons, we might lose some legs anyway. You know? So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter that much. Locked. Turn the engines off. Alright. Modular cargo. Alright, what do we still need? We need a bunch of stuff here. Start with small tubes. We need 5,976 small tubes. So that worked out pretty easily. And then construction components, we need 16,640. That's 1,424. There's another 2,616. I'll do some quick maths here. Yep, 16,640. Okay, I had it right. I wasn't off by 5 like last time. This is the last of it. This will give everything to start this. It only took 2 hours to load up and destroy and load up and destroy. Okay, it was actually like an hour and 15. Actually, it was less than that because we had to go get fuel first and did some things. So it was like 45 minutes. Still way faster than doing it on foot would have been. Now we go way up here. Oh man, but if I do this, I gotta use this leg now, which means I gotta... Okay, we took the tree out, that's fine. We gotta slow down. We're going way too fast there, buddy. So I gotta do this at a goofy ass angle now. I am concerned we're gonna slide back into something important now. Okay. probably lined up. We are. We need to come back a tiny bit more. That's not right. I'm probably stuck on something, aren't I? Am I hung up on something? No. Okay, I just don't have any feet on the ground. That's fine. Let's try this. Do we reach? Oh, we're reaching. Barely. But we're reaching, and that's the important part. I'm almost out of... hydrogen. Save that off because I think that was a cool screenshot. Yeah, that does look cool. Oh no. We bounced.
Inventory full.
Oh no. Oh, my carefully counted numbers. They're all wrong. They're all wrong. Let's... just aim you a little bit more. It's the bounce. As we lighten up, we're sliding and bouncing.
Inventory full.
It's fine. It's fine. It's
Inventory
fine.
full. Inventory
Beautiful crab
full.
lost a leg.
Inventory
Making
full.
a big dirty mess all over the floor.
Inventory full.
I mean, for something I hadn't tested, this actually has worked pretty decently. So I'm pretty excited about that. It is working. Okay. We should be empty. We're empty. Gonna lower this back where it was before. Lock it in place. And we're down an engine. We're doing all this down an engine. And we still pulled it off. Okay, so we're gonna pull the crab slightly away. Because I'm not... not sure I want to trust the crab next to this thing. So theoretically, if I go push, check this, local inventory only, we are at 4,995 plates because I screwed it up somehow. That's fine. We can fix that. Okay, 50,000 plates, 4,324 motors, 2,505 copper wire, 835 electromagnets. Where did all my computers go? We brought the computers over, didn't we? Did I mess that up? We got 15 too many construction components because I brought some out of my inventory in. That's fine, we can fix that. And then 5,976 small tubes. Yeah, we've got one computer out of the 3340 we're supposed to have. Did I mess that up, or did I accidentally delete a bunch of computers somehow? That's gonna be sad times if I did. Going down thrusterless here. Maybe there's only room for one, you know, and I just didn't notice. If we get back here and there's now 3,340 computers waiting to be used for something, then we'll know something is far messed up. Honestly, for as many like subgrids as this crab has, and not using inertia tensor for a whole bunch of obvious reasons, I'm actually come on. There we go. Nope, they're all still here. Okay. So we need 3,339. So I must have told it to move them and just only moved the one and hadn't noticed. That's fine. Wish sunrise would come a little bit faster. Like, I get we're way up in the mountains. We're like, we don't actually get sun where we are right here for like ever, but okay, try this again. Okay, we're eating them all. So, plan is to get these the rest of the way in. We hit the button. This should start building and inching forwards and doing all the stuff automatically for us. And if it doesn't, then I get to sob and cry and fix it off stream, because we're gonna go down there. Start laying some stuff out. Because actually, I do need to try to line. I need to try to line this up. Is the problem? That's fine. We'll bring a bunch of steel plates, and we'll build a plate thing down to the water line, and then that way we know we'll be in line. So when we actually come back and we have some oil sand operations going on and can make asphalt, we can actually pave this. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll set it up so we can pave it all. It won't be an issue. I'm sorry for blasting everybody's ears out with the explosive P's today. Just I keep sitting closer and closer to the mic. Okay, we're empty. Sweet. We're going to get in the crab. The industrial crab is going to pull forwards, up out of the way. Cool. Don't have the hydrogen on my tanks to go run after you. Okay. Take a hard save. Oh, it's working. I forgot to. No, that needs to be unlocked. Yeah. That is locked. I do need to trigger this. That's what it was. I have to trigger it the first time because the VIC controllers aren't watching. Look at that. We're digging out a hole. As that inches forward, it welds. We are super wide. So originally this was just going to be the 3 drills wide, which would have covered about 1 more block space out to the right, and then 2 to the left here. But by adding the extra drill on each side, we'll have enough space. I should be able to fit the crab down this, and if not, I'll cry, and the crab just won't get to live here. Or I'll like subgrid the wheels so I can rotate them sideways and he can scuttle sideways in instead. But yeah, it's slow. It gets faster further on once it completes the first cycle, but I do want to make sure it works correctly. We are holding more weight on the front now than we were before. I may want to go and add some more ballast to the backside for balancing, we'll see. And again, we're on destruction mode with these drills, not drill mode. Yeah, I may have to do some extra ballast because I feel like that's slightly counterbalancing the weight now. But we're still moving. Sweet. Let's go take the crab back down. Let's take the crab down. Let's get a bunch of steel plates so we can draw up our pathway down. I'll throw 300 steel plate in my inventory. We'll get a bunch of concrete put in the crab. We'll get a bunch of girders and put in the crab, so that when we get down to the water, we can do our concrete, key. Besides me not doing the math right for the thrusters, because I did like double the number of thrusters forwards on this thing, so we do need more tanks. But like, look, 98% used. That's nothing. That's outstanding. Let's see, how many girders do we have? Let's dump all our stuff back in here. How many girders? And then for concrete, we need 5 girders per. So this is going to the extruder. And maybe not 1,000, but like we'll do 200 girders. $78. Do. There. 22. That brings us to 110. No, 100. Something like that. 100. Okay, so that's 20 blocks of concrete, and concrete takes 20 concrete per, so we need 4,000 concrete. Let's do this. That's slow. That's... Maybe we'll do the concrete in multiple trips, because I don't want another repeat of 400 tons of steel plates. You know? That just seems like a bad idea. So I've got to move all those anyway, because we're already tipping backwards, because it's just all sitting in the back. Alright. We will start with that, because I can always bring more later. Just using the wheels, we don't burn that much power, because the wheels only burn 1.2 megawatts all combined at max load. It's not that bad. Ooh. Need steel plates. Need steel plates so I can make sure we're all lined up. Plate stamp is doing a whole lot of nothing. It's fine. That'll be good to start. I don't think it's going to take 160, maybe it'll take 160 blocks. But I can do it in pieces, because once it's down, it'll be static and embedded in the terrain. So I can take it apart as needed. We float. Oh yeah. Hang on. I gotta get a picture of this. We tilt a little bit because we've got unbalanced payload, but and the nice thing about this is that if I have to, oh, it's beautiful. If I have to, I can use this to do surface salvage, because the one claw does have a grinder on it. Oh, that's beautiful. Actually, you know, that would be terrifying. That would be terrifying to see comes blasting up out of the water, just a 65-ton mecha crab. Should have done that for D-Day. Germans would have been like, oh shit, oh shit. It's the Scheisse crab. Alright, back to defaults. We do 1, 2, 3. We're just going to take this out as we go. Alright, then we're going to come back up here. We're going to grind some of this back off to get my parts back. Ah, I saved it from collapsing and blowing up into scrap. Actually, this looks pretty in line. I guess not exact, but I get pretty close for an eyeball. I'm feeling pretty good about that, actually. If it wasn't for the fact that I'm trying to get this centered for the tunnel, I wouldn't have cared. So that worked out pretty good. We're getting there. I would be using the Pepco building aid to just lay out a big line of these if it wasn't such a weird stepping diagonal. If it wasn't such a weird, like, inconsistent diagonal too. Because I could just, tell it, hey, place like 100 of these blocks, and it would just do it in a straight line, and it'd be nice. But unfortunately, I can't. Because the terrain works against me. Oh. There we go. Bounced over my head. I'd like to point out we had 45 minutes of direct sun exposure. That was it. Just Hat Mountain is keeping the sun off us. It's doing the job of a hat. Go down here. And then once we figure out where specifically we have to be, I'm going to mark it as like the center block. Then that way I'll know, like, when we have the supplies to make asphalt for a driveway up. I'll know exactly where that center line is for that. It just got the remark about that. Yes, exactly. Keeping the sun off us. Okay, that look at how close, like, not the front, this overlap, no, but like that was real close. The angle's slightly off and the width placement's a little wrong, but like that's so let's grab some concrete stuff here. Okay, good, the collector is off. I was like, did I accidentally fill the crab with ice? I did not. So we're going to weld this one. We're going to paint it a goofy color. That way I remember. I'm going to paint it bright yellow. That way I remember that this is kind of like the important one. And we'll do like some actual markings later. But the big thing is I need to figure out how off center line we are. Because I think it's just one block that I need to go further east. So we did one block straight off the side here. So the center line is here. It's troublesome that failed the timing. Okay, they're all on. That's just concerning. Anyway, so we placed a block here, so we actually need to go one over. Yeah, so one to the left. So this is the right edge. And actually what we're going to do is we're going to do 3 blocks total. Okay, so this is in line with that tunnel up there. So when you go to build stuff back up, As long as we're building off this, we'll be fine. Now that said, we know, based on that over there, that we are not quite at high tide, but just about. So let's assume this is the highest up we go. So we need to go... we assume here-ish is where we're going to have our stuff. This is going to be the waterline point. Yeah. Okay. And we want to build out, not necessarily there, but we do want to build out with concrete. We'll do 1, 2. We come out this far. We'll have to drill out some of this, but this is otherwise not too bad. Need girders to build concrete, that's fine. Now we're going to take the concrete, put it back. Take all the girders. So we're just, right now we're focusing on placing stuff down. And then this will be our seawall. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 is going to be 35 meters in width. Sounds right. 14 times 2.5, yeah. So there's that, and then we just drag it back. We'll just drag it back. This might be where I swap the grinder claw for a welder claw, just to do this a bit faster. Then I can just drive the crab along. And this is relatively flat, so, you know, if I load up 400 tons of concrete in it, it won't matter. But this will be the start. And we can have a spot from here that juts out for the duck boat. Yeah. Have a spot that juts out here for duck boat. The tides aren't severe enough here, I don't think, that we're going to need something with an adjustable height. Because, like, normally you would want to have this on, like, floating pier, like, floating, like, actual piering, so it can float up and down with. But that's, you can do it in Space Engineers, but man, it's kind of shit. And we'll be a little bit higher here, but that's fine. The boat won't slide under. So that's the important part. We just don't want the boat sliding under. Oops. So we're looking at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So that's 30, 40. Yeah, 40 meters. And I think I'm going to do... Actually, do I want to do it similar to the way I did the one over there? Because I did the one over there, I used the cylinder pieces as pilings. But I don't know that I want to necessarily do it that way here. It's a shame the trusses... Oh, I guess they do kind of pick up the wood texture. Not by much, but they do pick it up. I think I'd rather use these in place of, like, side pilings. Which I guess would work. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so we'll do that. I'm almost out of power. I am out of steel. Of course, I'm missing all the important girder bits. To actually do that. That's fine. We're gonna hop in here. Take off. We need to set up a bunch of girders for manufacture, and we need a bunch of beam pieces. The connector must be clipping when I turn, because the suspension collapses just enough. Or maybe it's clipping the wheel itself, because there's no destroyed voxels in the sand here. Let's zoom out. Maybe I'm missing one, but if we zoom out far enough, it'll show up. Nope, there's no holes in the terrain there. I am running dangerously low on hydrogen. This is a dangerous game. I've got max buffs. I should probably be a little bit more careful about this. So all I can think is that under compression, we're sliding and it's clipping. That's all I can think of. Yeah, must be it. That's fine. Refill the hydrogen tanks. We need to get a bunch more girders. We're gonna need a lot more girders. And we need some steel plates. Throw this all back in here. I gotta move it later, but that's fine. And then we need the pieces for B blocks, or truss pillars, which is interior plates, construction components, and tubes. Grab a bunch of these for right now. We'll head back out. We will drag all this stuff up from the collector to modular cargo. Bonk. Okay, so as far as pillars goes, we got 16s. I could do every 2. And then that would work. And then this is going to be like our pilings. So close. There we go. Put the last of these down in here on the bottom. Oh, sweet, that did fit. And then he's got to repeat this on the other side. And the question is, do I want to make it 1 block wide or do I want to make it 2? I think I want to make it 2 blocks. So if I make it 2 blocks wide, it gives some options for like some decorative stuff. And that'd be kind of cool. So I could like... I want to make it 3. No, I think so. I think for this dock, because this will be for smaller boats, like the duck boats, and if I make a slightly larger variant of that, you know, where it's not like a large barge or anything that's like heavily intended to be like a primary warcraft, I think this will be the dock for those. And I've got 2 sides to it, right? So worst case scenario, I could pull the duck boat up and a secondary boat, and if I had to, I could stack them a little bit deeper. So like maybe if eventually there were like some, I could do like some drones, some boat drones, right? Because we could set those up with vanilla AI blocks and have ourselves some little deployable interceptor boats, right? Like some coastal defense PT boats. You know, cheap and easy, and not a big issue if they get blown up. And that'd kind of be cool. Because I don't think there's really anything that fits the offsets. Well, there's this, right? But then it's the wrong direction offset. So I got to figure out. This is the problem with building a large grid, is there's so many goofy, like, you can kind of do this but you can't things. Yeah. I might decide I hate this and rip these all out. We'll see. But I think the intent and the purpose is still going to be correct for this, for what I want to use it for. And then for anything bigger, we will push this further down that way or further up that way. And I can do longer, deeper docks that way. Don't have enough interior plates, is that what it is? No, I do. Why don't? No, I don't. Not interior plates. That's fine. I'll make it the rest that way. We got a little bit of wood. We got some steel reinforcement, some aluminum reinforcement. I'm fine with that appearance. Now the big question becomes, do I run... do I run a conveyor network all the way down here? Or do we just... the stuff that we have to have here, we leave down here? Right, so like power, yes, but we can run that via power pole. Plus it's going to be part of the grid. But something like fuel... do I want to leave that exposed? Maybe we have a tank, and we just have a tanker that refills it. That's probably the smarter way, because it's still going to go up in a gigantic explosive boom. But it's not going to be anywhere near as bad as, like... if the refinery itself was also here, you know? My brain works, I swear. I think that's all the stuff out of our inventory. Just about. So I'll just sit here and just throw the tubes into things. We got parts to work with. And let's go check this out. Let's see what showed up with this unknown signal. AHE is doing his job, hanging around, loitering. I don't know if they added any new like unknown signal builds with this update or not. I don't think they did, but I'm not 100% positive. I suppose we'll find out either way, right? Like one way or the other. Okay. Ooh, grain seeds. See what I'm talking about? We could make some grain. Even without like food turned on, maybe we'll work that in somehow. Have like a little hydroponics room, just for appearances. Okay, so despite the issues with the back legs, I feel the industrial crab did really well for its first outing. Like, I literally hadn't done anything other than build it. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, timing is off on something. Timing is off on something and I don't know why. Power's on. It has power. It's in auto charge mode. But is acting like it's not actually charged. The whole point of putting this here. Oh wow. It worked immediately when I powered it off and on. Maybe I just need to do a reload. Maybe the issue is that there's enough stuff that's been going on that I just need to punch a reload and let it do its job. Because it said it was on, but it clearly wasn't providing power. Because as soon as I power cycled it, it suddenly started working again. And yeah, that's way faster now. What are we doing at? Oh, it's falling into the hole. Anyway, so this will be about the highest up it drills, so this will be the ceiling-ish area. Right, and then we got this. So we've got room, we can embed blocks in the floor to give us a drill space, and that's a pretty high ceiling. Right, so we could take this and do all sorts of stuff with this as the main driveway, and then Again, the plan is to have rooms that branch off this, so that, you know, if the GC comes in or like fires off, just like if they've got a naval ship that shows up with artillery and just blasts it right down the hallway and takes out, you know, the front doors, it won't matter, because everything important will have a lot of stone in side hallways off, and then we'll build up into the mountain, up and up again. It's about 1.2 kilometers from this point to the other side, so we'll have plenty of space for things, and that's the important part. I could theoretically use this as a runway. Oh, hang on. There's the thought. Use this as a runway for whatever plane we use for fighting. Because when I land, if things go poorly, the plane explodes. But if I'm damaged enough, I could land it down on the beach down there, and then bring it up the paved roadway, maybe with the crab even. There'd be some options. All right, let's see if this works when it gets to the end of its thing, because I may just want to reload the whole save. Just to give all the grids a fresh restart. Yeah, it worked just fine. So the entire point of that capacitor bank, I do end up like a battery. Something just unplugged itself in power cycle. The entire point of doing the capacitor bank there is when it does the connection swap, because it does this one and then it does that one, supposedly, or vice versa. But the timing is very short, and I noticed in the test, it was sometimes if I didn't have power permanently, it would just lock up like it was doing there when we were watching it. But if I had a capacitor bank or a battery, it didn't have to be a big one, just enough. It would work. And I opted for the capacitor because the capacitor holds, it can discharge really, really fast. So, you know, it can push out 250 megawatts in one burst, but it doesn't store a whole lot. It only stores 100 kilowatts. So it's a very small capacity, and it recharges at a very good rate. So, like, we're not, if I'd done a battery, we would be burning so much power feeding out of the battery and then refeeding the battery. It didn't make sense. But the capacitor pretty much only gets tapped losslessly, and it's just enough to keep things going. Oh, we're sliding forwards. That's not iron. That's voxel. Oh, but we're going. We got our connector rail. And the nice thing about this is when we're done with this, I can just remove these connector pieces, and we'll have a conveyed floor line that goes forwards from here. And it just keeps going. So we're going to let this run. This is going to keep running. It's going to do its job. We're going to sit down here on the couch for like a slow count to 7 to get some power back. And I had to fix the crab. I had to perform some leg surgery. And we're gonna, this is the start of the port. So we'll have a sloop space, we'll have dock space for the duck boat and anything else small to medium size I make. And then we'll do a bigger one for bigger stuff like barges, like partially aquatic, like Zeppelin devices, anything like that. And that'll be how that works. And also, we need a defense boat. Not right away, but we will need one. Fish. Fish. So that's going to be that. And then once that's done, we can start working on taking apart, well, once that up there is done, we can work on taking this apart and relocating it into Hat Mountain. I don't know how long it'll take. I'm going to let this run some in between streams. I'll turn off events so I don't accidentally trigger any story events during those. But then we'll let this run between streams some and see how far it goes. It may take a session or two for it to get all the way through, but we can go from there as necessary, because there is some stuff we need to do, right? Do need to set up where is it? Here we go. Need to set up an oil derrick so we can get oil stuff going on. Need to either mark... Now we need to scout some more resources. Might make a plane to do that rather than drive the long distance, because we do have this neat little roadster. But like... It is 12 kilometers from here to here. From here to here is 12 kilometers. So we're looking at like another 3.5 to the cobalt. Another 10 to the silver. The copper is another 20 beyond that. The bauxite, again, forever away. And that's assuming... Let's just zoom out a tiny bit. Because some of the stuff we may still need, right? Because like there's the silver here up in this mountain, but maybe this will be better. It does have a road to it, but if we could pipeline through the mountains, I don't know, it's gonna be a long drill, right? Like this is, we're already looking at 1.2 kilometers here. I don't want to go through the hassle of drilling out a 6-kilometer pipeline. So maybe we just we do pipeline stuff and we just shenanigan our pipelines along the coast and across. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I had at one point in time like this fantasy that like all of this would be underground via pipelines back to coal. And that's just such a long distance to drill. Even with like the mining guide, that's still such a long distance to drill. So I don't know about that. But we'll see. Oil's the important thing. Oil and coal. These are the two things. This is going to be primary base power. This will be all of our vehicles. We're going to run off this. And worst case scenario, we can use some of it as a backup as well. It would be nice to have a little bit of silver. It would be nice to have some dedicated copper. We don't have to have it. We have to get cobalt. We have to get bauxite. We have to get titanium, but I don't think there's any titanium on this continent. Oh, there is. Okay, so there's some titanium over there. That's a long haul. That's a mine some, set up a mining outpost, and then go do pickup runs. That's what that is. Yeah, because that's a distance. Or we could also do this titanium, I guess. But again, we're looking at the same thing. They'll still set up an outpost and then drive it back. And we could do a road here. We have no easy way to do a road this way. So we'd still be a road to a ship back home, which I guess we could do. Right, like we could set up a little mini dock and just do like a flat barge and just drive trucks up onto it and do that stuff. I don't know. There's some options. There's some thinking that has to be done. We're not at the point where we can really get titanium yet. Cobalt and bauxite are going to be the next two after oil and coal. So that's going to be some... Oh, it's almost nightfall. That's going to be some scouting stuff. So we still need to do some scouting. So we do still need a flying vehicle. Maybe not a mining vehicle necessarily, but we do still need that. And, yeah, didn't die. On tier 5 buffs. Pretty happy about that. And we did all of the immediate tasks. Well, 4 of them. Did y'all just lose... I think one of the fighter escorts just dropped out of the sky. Yep. They sat in a holding pattern too long, and that blew up. You see the sparks? Maybe we'll go see if we can go salvage some of that. Yeah, maybe. Anyway, everything but actually putting the balloons on the grab was done this time. The tunnel's going. We've started the harbor. We have to make it nicer. But that is what that is. So I'm happy with it. And I've got to swap. I think I'm going to swap the grinder for a welder on the crab. Maybe I will just make interchangeable claws, so I can just detach the claw here and just slot it in a new one. Kind of like Captain Hook. Yeah, that sounds good. And then we'll go from there. So, hope this wasn't too boring for y'all. If you watched this live, definitely appreciate you. If you're watching this after the fact, doubly so, because you don't get to sit here and, talk live. So, I like the crab. This industrial crab is the goofiest thing I think I've ever done as Space Engineers ever. And I absolutely love it. So, we will find ways to utilize this dude. Maybe we'll make a lobster version that's just longer, with a big tail, and then that'll get slung beneath balloons. I don't know. We'll see. Back again next Thursday, probably. I don't think I have anything that would be a conflict next Thursday, but next Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. I hope to see you back. If not, it was nice that you came by. As always, stay safe, stay goose.